My name is Michael and you have welcome to MLC membership. Today we will learn a great thing about how to discharge a vessel, a tanker vessel, much quicker. It is a trick which maybe none of you know. Maybe, okay? And I say maybe because maybe some of you are really intelligent, really thinking great, and I recently also discovered I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that. Also, I am really, let's say, transparent, yes, and clear on that. I didn't know, and I found it by experimenting something new, and I would like to share it with you. So, as I have working, let's say, for one of the biggest oil majors in the past, now I'm not. Now I am working for YouTube. I found something really fascinating. Fascinating from the view of point that this company was not able to spend, despite, let's say, oil major, was not able to spend money for development. And this is, yes, our future as businesses are not able to spend money for development. They have spent money for some useless things which they failed, but they're not able to listen, let's say, expertise and specialists in order to create value with less amount of investment. So it is really funny, yes, but it is actually happening. It is actually happening, my dear friends. And the worst thing for investors is that they trust their money to such big, let's say, funds, and for return they get so much poor returns. So yes, reputation is good thing, the trust is the other thing, but if you are not deliver, you are not deliver at all. So what I will share today, it is for people that are really want to improve and make that small difference that is required to bring you further. Also another thing, yes, that okay, I understand that for sure the share of information is good, but the most important thing of why I'm sharing this information, it is not that I will make, let's say, some money or I will be rich. The only thing that I'm really care and it's my concerns, it is the environment itself. So through the years, as I have worked, let's say, for this oil major, I understand how much important was to reduce the emissions, to reduce the CO2 emissions. And really, from my side, I try really to reduce the emissions, the CO2 emissions, and any kind of emissions that are related with the shipping. So the reason why, yes, I explained to you, it is environmental. So it is all kind of emissions because yes, when a vessel stay at port, it emits some of the emissions. It's not exactly clear because it's burning diesel. So you have your vessel standing in the port. This is your vessel and this is the funnel, and still it's burning, let's say, diesel. Okay, still it consumes air, it burns diesel, it creates monoxide gases, it creates CO2. So all that adds up, let's say, in the port. And the more your, let's say, boilers are working, the more of these gases will be produced. And why? One of the reasons why I'm sharing this information is that in order just to reduce these emissions. So to reduce the emissions, let's write it here. Reduce the emissions. This is the goal. Okay, this is our goal. Make the emissions less. Make the emissions less and reach our goals, which is yes, less emissions. Wherever we are doing, okay, it is, let's say, less transfers, mostly it is this thing that look here, wherever operations we are doing, if we are doing a lot of operations, a lot of transfers, a lot of movements, everything has an increase. So in this case, CO2 increasing. What we have to do, it is less movements, okay? Less movements, less unnecessary movements, which will create this CO2. And this is where my mindset changed completely. Okay, I start to think what I have to do in order to reduce the CO2 emissions. I have to simplify the operations itself. And one of the operations that actually I really change the things, it is by listening closely the people that we are working with. So how we're able to simplify the things, how we're able to create, let's say, a different approach. So I will give you an example. So we had a vessel on the port. This is the tanker, okay? This is the jetty, where the tanker is fastened. Okay, here we have our fendering system and all the things. Okay, and what we have to do, we have to barge some water. Okay, we had a barge here. Barge is B, a vessel. So we have to dewater some of the water in this vessel. We have to dewater, and with the use of the barge. But in previous, before we make any change, we have to call another company which will provide to us, let's say, fenders, hoses. So this is another company that has to bring hoses, connections, and all the things, fenders, in order to make the bunker operation, let's say, safe with all the standards and all the things. So what we think with the internally also in with the budget company, how we can able to simplify in order to avoid these costs here, because this cost was about 300k per year. 300k per year, all these costs, transferring the hoses, all the things, and also this created congestions in the port, and also release of CO2 as well. So what we did, we removed all that completely, that expenses, no more boat coming alongside, and with this also we reduce all the risks that was related, which is transferring on the hoses from this boat to the barge, and then from the barge to the vessel, the hose. So you have to do additional work. And this not only reduce the emissions, that also speed up the whole process and bring the reduction of the time. So previously we needed, let's say, 10 hours for this operation. Now we need 5 hours. So despite that we earning, let's say, 3000k per year from this operation, we are not emitting CO2 emissions because we are not bringing additional shipments. We reducing also the risk, which is related with working risk, hazards, transferring, heavy lifting, and all the things. It is not there anymore, and the only lifting, it is here, the hose between the vessel. Okay, downtime reduction, no CO2, not bringing this vessel, and also reduced to 5 hours. So the things are really quickly. The barge has not stay idle. It's just there, start connecting, pumping the water, receive the water, and then the barge goes back, let's say, to its normal operation whatsoever. So you can ask me also why the company does not select it to do that before. Because when you raise your standards really high, you increase your level of standards really high, you have to pay also really high, but it's not means that it will be effective, and it not means that it will be much safer. So you can do much more complicated things, spending more, we have having results, we have having an efficiency, but this is actually what happened with one of the biggest oil majors that I have worked for. Okay, and I believe this kind of inefficiencies, it's all around the world, it's all around the industries, it's all around the manufacturing industries, it's all around the ports, because simply no one was questioning, and also no one was able to pick up the problem and bring it and fix it until the end. These things also happens on the governmental areas as well, because nobody basically, it is interesting. You get your money, you get your salary, you get your paycheck, but you're not doing nothing, and also you are not a care also as well. So that is normal in nowadays, that is simple how the reality is working. But the difference between people working at sea and people that are working in land is the efficiency, because people are working in land never had to face real problems and face real issues. That's why they don't know how to solve them, and there is huge missing of the expertise and the specialism on that thing. So when you have not faced difficulties as well in your working environment, you are not able to bring solutions. You are not able to create the extraordinary that I have explained in the previous video. And that is true. That is true. That is how the things are working. And that's why also what I'm saying, if your company are structured more with captains than engineers or technical departments, this is the bigger picture that you are losing. So you are creating a huge gap from the technical knowledge and the theoretical knowledge that the most of the captains having. If you're looking to the oil majors, if you're looking also to the shipping companies, they are full of captains. Look the percentage. And I'm 100% sure, because I have seen that in the reality, okay? And this is why I'm also referring that. It's not that we are, let's say, displacing the captains, let's say, from the offices, okay? I really do not care if they're there or not, but the problem is that you have a huge gap and huge disbalance of these specialities. And moreover, they do not know the technical stuff. So the engineers that you have also in these companies are overloaded with excessive, let's say, questioning from the existing, let's say, theoretical people that you have there. And you can understand, yes, how the workload for engineers and for technical specialties are increasing more and more, because there is no more questions are coming. There is no answers that they receive. Okay? There's only questions. But in some time, as theoretical, let's say, knowledge, you have to answer your questions as well. So you do not have to go directly to the person that is related, let's say, with some specialty which is in the crude oil and asking only questions. You have to give also answers in order to produce the development and something that is, let's say, within the business that has to be developed. Okay, not only questioning. So you have seen the example, you have seen how to simplify it, and also I really enjoy how the reduction of the CO2 happened, and it really happened. And as I promised to you today, despite, let's say, all that material that I have created in this channel, and through the membership, which is easy accessible, it is purifier course, advanced course, it is boiler advanced course, marine bundle simulation, bunkering optimization project, slash optimization project, and crude oil washing masterclass course, which is available here. You're able to get it all. I'm really glad for the people that are able to get, let's say, the marine bundle simulations, because there is about 120, 130 different simulations which are helping to see how the engine room is working, how all the machineries are working, and which of the problems you are able to face, which is some of the common problems within the piping diagrams and the machineries itself, and how to solve them to avoid these unusual situations. And another thing also that I would like to remind, that at the moment there is still two membership which was not accessed by anyone. Okay, maybe, I don't know, maybe there is so much expensive for the people, but one of them, it is for the companies mostly, let's say the bunker optimization project and the sludge optimization project. If, let's say, they are willing to spend 400 euros, okay, for them it is fine. It's not that much, let's say, big expense, because I have heard that they spend 10,000 euros for replace, let's say, the O-rings from some plastic O-rings. Okay, if they have money, let's say, to spend this, they can buy also the membership for 1 month with this project, which improves the bunkering operations and the sludge operations by 50%. Okay, improvement, huge improvement. Or for the barging companies that are willing, let's say, to improve their existing barges and speed up the time by 50-60%. But this is, yes, only by purchasing. This is the only way that how they can learn this information. Okay, and for crudo washing it is 125, I believe, something like that, 120. Yes, for sure, it is 7 hours of material. It is 3.5 years of knowledge concentrated. Just imagine $125, and with combination of 12 and 12.50, yes, for this book, you are completely done with the crudo washing. So you just read it once and that's all. So it's much cheaper than all the seminars that you have been seeing anywhere around the globe. Okay, but the value that it brings, it is tremendous. It is really, really tremendous. So you are able to reduce your claims, you are able to have better performing vessels, you are better avoid problems and issues that are related with cargo, and everything is there. Everything is online, easy accessible with one click. Also the book you can see here, and also the crudo washing masterclass course. So it's not necessary even from me to come somewhere. You are able directly access all the material here, okay, here on YouTube. And really quickly on, let's say, the bonus version of how to discharge a vessel quickly, it is by this simple trick. So when you discharge your vessel, you have your cargo tanks here. You have your cargo tanks, which is full of crude oil here or any other product. Okay, so you have your product here. You have your product here. You have arrived with 500 millibars of pressure, millibars of pressure in the cargo tanks inside here. So you have 500 millibars pressing here on the surface. The reason why you came on the port with 500 millibars in order to have positive pressure. Not very high, not very low, to be about in the middle. And since you know that your product does not create, let's say, vapors, does not pressurize, then as you have started discharge it, you change this pressure to 900 millibars. This is what you do. So your opening pressure of PV valves are 1450 millibars. Okay, that means you have a safe margin of 500 millibars, correct? How much is it? 550. Yes? Yes, 550 millibars. Okay. 550 millibars margin until they open. So by changing this pressure from 500 millibars to 900 millibars, as the cargo will reduce, you will speed up. But for sure, you have to watch about what is the maximum allowable flow rate to the terminal. Flow rate. So maybe yes, the terminal will tell you keep it steady or keep it, let's say, within that range. Yes, then you are limited. So basically you have limits from your terminal and you are limited. But if you're going some of the terminals, yes, when you have 42-inch pipe, 42-inch pipe, basically you will never able to reach your maximum discharge rate. So even you reach your discharge rate and the pipes line are short, you're able to discharge in fullest, let's say, speed, maximum. Okay, do not overcome the pump speeds and all that things, but you are able to boost a little bit with this additional pressure, and it will be really helpful when you will be close to the stripping. So the stripping process will be much more efficient, it will be much more faster, and you will be reducing the discharge time. So with this trick here today, we are able to speed up the operations and we are able to reduce the CO2 emissions for completely free. Thank you very much for your attention, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you in the next video with some more interesting tricks and tips and also a lot of new and great material. If you will use it, yes, it depends of you. It depends of you, and you have, yes, to make the decision if you will use it or not. Okay, at the end it's not me who discharges, let's say, the vessel, it is you there who will take the decision to use this technique or not, or wherever you apply let's say your knowledge. That is it. That is it from MOC membership. Don't forget to join also my second channel, Membership Talks, MOC Talks, where I explain all the things with a lot of examples and a lot of discussions about the shipping and maritime industry. Thank you very much and see you in the next video from Mihail. Bye bye.